Okay, so today we are going to be making bean soup. That is ham and bean soup from soup bones that I had saved over the last couple years and kept them in the freezer. So, well, come along and, oh, by the way, this is Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie V. So, here we go. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk bean soup. Here's some ham bones. I've got actually more than just this in here. I've been cooking them down for about 48 hours on about 200 to 250 degrees, just slowly cooking them. After I get them cooked off, I'm going to put the beans in. Now, I'm cutting these up literally with a pair of scissors because I stuck some more ham in here because I like a lot of ham in my ham and bean soup. Now, this is probably not FDA approved. I do not care. I'm like that. So, but this has actually been a really good recipe that I've used, and it's really simple. I don't have to do much of anything. Okay, and I'll bring you back here when I get more stuff done. The beans were actually, I used 532 packets of beans, and I'll show you what they look like before I go to put them in. Well, I think I've got all the bones out, so what ingredients am I going to add before I put the beans in? I'm putting in a tablespoon of garlic powder and 1/2 cup of minced onions that are dried. I don't want big chunks of onions, that's why I decided to go ahead and use the minced onions. And I'll just give this a good stir. This is kind of mixed in. I normally don't add any salt or even pepper into this because the ham seems to really flavor it good. I can always add that to taste when I go to cook it. But right now, I really, yeah, it already tastes amazing. I tasted the broth, and I can't go wrong. So let's get to the beans. And these are the beans. Like I said, there was 5 32-ounce packages of the beans. And I'm going to just slowly start to scoop these in here. Now, they absorbed a lot of water. They're a little hard still. And what my trick is for them not to turn into mush is to not cook them all the way through. Because when you're pressure canning them, they will finish cooking. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're doing it. It's kind of one of those things. You have to taste them. And if they're still hard, or feel them, if they're still hard, I wouldn't do that if you're putting them in really hot water while you're cooking the trying to cook them a little bit more. But these guys are not quite halfway cooked, even though they sit and absorbed water all night. So let me get these in the pan. Well, I got all the beans in there, and I do want to clarify something. I did rinse these beans before I put them in the pot. Even after they soaked all night, I put them in a colander and just went ahead and rinsed them off. Let the water drain out that wasn't absorbed and rinse them off. So it's very full. Maybe I shouldn't put quite as many in it this time, but I think I put more meat in it this time from the last time. Fortunately, I don't have a set recipe. This is just, you kind of go with what fills and what you have. I guess that's how I can is if I have it, I try to use it and I try to can it, freeze dry it, do something with it. I try not to waste the food I have. So I'm going to put the lid on this and let it cook for probably about 30 minutes, and then I'll test it to see what it looks like. And I do have this in a 22 quart Hamilton Beach roaster, and I have it all the way up to 450 degrees right now. Since this is such a big pot and I want it to start heating up. Once it starts heating up, I will drop it down to about 350. Okay, so the beans have been cooking for about an hour total. And I did turn them down to like 350 after they were in there for a half hour. The beans are not crunchy. They are not hard. But when you bite into them, they're not soft. So they just kind of break apart in your mouth. They don't smush. That's the best that I can describe it. But we're going to get these all jarred up and get them in the pressure canners. I should probably get about a good 21 quarts, possibly 22 quarts out of this batch. We'll find out. So I ended up with 22 jars to can in. I have wide mouth and regular mouth jars here, and I'm going to Wipe them with a cloth, well, paper towel, with vinegar on it to just clean them off. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a lid. And this time I'm also using all ball like I did with the chili. That might be a surprise depending on which one I decide that I'm going to publish first. So now these are finger tight. Yes, I'm holding the camera, so I can't really make them finger tight, but I will fix that one. Okay, and I do realize some of them have a little bit more beans, some have a little bit more broth. It's not going to be perfect, but it was pretty good. So let me get these all done. I'll get them in the canner and we'll come back to show you what we've done and how many have sealed. Alrighty, so we ended up with 21 of these guys and they are absolutely amazing. I cracked one open the other day and went ahead and had it. So I'm going to give you a taste test in a minute as soon as I heat up the leftovers, and I'll let you know. So you can see how delicious it is. So before I bring the bean soup up for a taste test, this was very, very thick whenever you pour it out of the container. And no, this is not USDA approved or Bell approved or Bell, or I can't ever remember how to say that. But here we go. I added a little bit of water and just a little bit of butter. As you can see, let me get this down here better for you. I'm going to turn this, holding it. Here we go. Yes, I am doing this chintzy because I am still on my rolly cart and it is not the easiest thing to move, or my peg leg as I refer to my eye crutch. But yes. Now this might need a little bit of salt and pepper, so salt and pepper that to your taste, but I liked it the way it was. Because it is so thick, can serve a lot more than you think you can because you actually need to add a little bit of water to it. This is really, really good. So I'm going to sit down here and eat my lunch and maybe have a little butter bread with it. But I just want to say, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And I am glad that you're here with me. And enjoy. Charlie B signing out. Be talking with you soon.